was born right in the doorway. I went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading blankets on the beach. Yours is the first face that I saw.
Yours.
I think I was blind before I met you.
And indeed, I was blind before I met him. I'm sure Bright Eyes would be irritated that I was using his song First Day of My Life to speak of how Christ indeed brought me to life in a way that it's hard to explain with words, even though I try every day to do so a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And even in 613 or something of these, I still feel like I've fallen short of the simple truth that seeing his face was the first face that I saw, was the first breath of life I'd really taken. My meditation this morning, John 12:25. He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. Those are the words of Christ, and spoken kind of the day before he, or maybe the day of, he brought his disciples up and they had their Last Supper, and he washed all their feet and enacted an act of service to those who had been with him for his few years of ministry, and all done in fortification for the next day, where he would perform the ultimate act of service in giving his life over, that all who came to him to know the Father might have everlasting life. And I gotta tell you, I don't, as someone who's had my very soul awakened, the light of God shed upon it by that act and by an intimate relationship with Christ himself, that I don't often think about eternity. Because it's so easy to get distracted by the billion cajillion preoccupations and machinations and errands and jobs and chasing jobs and whatever, art projects that this life can hold. But because there's something in myself that has often felt like to focus on some sort of reward system is in and of itself kind of selfish, and to do good things or right things with some sort of, oh, because of this I shall reign in eternity, because of this, is really is not the point. And I believe Christ spoke that obliquely and openly. Although indeed to be renewed into eternity even now is our ultimate goal and our ultimate desire. I entreat all of you to look upon that as seriously as you possibly can. And I would caution you, in every way that you love your life and love life here on earth in the here and now, to examine that, and to examine that not only with your eyes, but examine that in prayer. Ask God for help with that, man, because this is one of those verses that speaks almost like Solomon did, so specifically and vociferously and even firmly towards sin nature's binding influence on attachment, on our attachment to things here. And I truly do not believe that God, as Christ was saying, live a sad and miserable life and make this face about everything in this life. That's not what he did. But he counted it all as dross, if and in any way, any moment, it were to be challenged or dictated by God that he must relinquish any joy, however big, however small, within it, then indeed the greater good of others, of serving others, was always to be far in mind to anything that we are enamored of here. And first and foremost, that to do the will of God in abject surrender and joy as well is far more important than anything we could fall in love with here, anything we could get up to here. I've been working on this feature film, me and some of my boys, shot in February, and have been sculpting till now and continue to. And it has been an inestimable joy. It's the thing I most want to do, is make films, make feature films. That's like the best to me. It's the best, highest form of art, and the most intricate and wonderful, and speaks most directly to me. But I'm constantly being hand-checked in a way. Not that it's being taken away from me or been asked to be, but that to remind myself to see in those moments of passion, whatever is the deep and overriding passion of your life, that's so easy for you to be like, I can, some things you're like, oh man, do I gotta go do that for how many hours? Okay, I'll do it. I love that person. Let's go do that thing. And this is one of those things I hope each of you has, where you're like, I will dive out of bed any hour to go do this. This is such a joy. And to learn from that, and then to constantly be kind of checking myself before I wreck myself as to, am I devoting that same zeal? Do I have that same zeal for that which is eternal? For indeed, this film will be made, and we'll get it out, and it'll probably be this joy of our life, best case scenario, for a year or so. And then it shall wisp away. And we constantly put so much merit and so much self-worth and so much of our life in things that shall wisp away. Some things we put merit and self-worth in that are literally directly deleterious to our soul, that place walls between God and ourselves. We do that with how we treat relationships or sex or money. So what Christ is speaking here seems like a harsh truth, but it is a powerful truth, and it is a truth. Our sole and only purpose is to be fulfilled by and rejoice in and be useful to the glory of God, eternally and always. If that does not cast everything else in our life in its wake, then we're fooling ourselves that we're doing anything right. Christ came to speak that, to live that, and then even to, in ways I still can't quite muster the proper words for, spiritually empowers those who follow him to do so. To lay waste, flamethrower, balefire, laser style, to sear away the stain and darkness and fetter of sin and preoccupation and attachment, with single-mindedness, first and foremost pursue the glory of God in righteousness, to set aside the wages of sin and the wages of sin, and pursue life. Pursue the glory of God right now. Pursue eternity starting right this moment. I pray that light upon your soul right now. Peace be unto you. Amen and Selah.